The UAE is threatening to leave a $23 billion deal with the United States for F-35 fighter jets, drones and other advanced munitions. It would be a significant shake-up between two long-time partners, increasingly at odds over China's role in the Gulf. Joining me live now is US contributor Michael Ware. Michael, great to see you. There's always a little bit more to these kinds of stories. So what's behind this all?
Well, in many ways, you've hit the nail on the head. This is about China. I mean, you could think it was potentially about Israel and wanting to maintain Israel's qualitative military edge in that region, or you could possibly think that it was about the Emirates' war record because of their activities in Yemen and Libya and other places. But no, this is about China. In essence, this is the UAE saying it doesn't want to be like Australia. It doesn't want to take the Australian path, because what the Emirates are saying is that we don't want to have to choose between the United States and China. They've been playing both sides and they want to keep doing that. But in many ways, this is potentially being driven by the Americans, because the Americans have basically put it to the UAE that you can either have a 5G telephone network from China, or you can have 5G combat aircraft, but you can't have both, because the Americans understandably are desperate to protect their technology, particularly when it comes to this state-of-the-art F-35 combat aircraft. And, you know, America plays hardball when it comes to issues like this. Turkey, a NATO ally, was in line to get the F-35, but that deal was torn up because Turkey took the S-400 anti-aircraft missile defense system from Russia. And so America doesn't like these two weapon systems being side by side within the same military framework. That's really what's at play here. And it's not the first time, because there was a port facility being constructed in Abu Dhabi, the capital of the UAE, by China. And under American pressure, that project had to be scrapped, because the Americans insisted, even though Abu Dhabi said it was not the case, that the Chinese were preparing that facility for military use. Look, this is a fascinating story. It was born of the Trump administration's Abraham Accords, where the administration made bargains with certain Arab states like the UAE to diplomatically recognize Israel. And some countries got this for doing that, and some countries got that. For the UAE, it was the purchase of 50 F-35s and 18 armed Reaper drones. So even though it is the Emirates who are saying that they're suspending the talks on this $23 billion purchase, really it's America's forcefulness about safeguarding its technology that's driven this. And the UAE, it has the legitimate right to decide how it's going to pursue its own national security interests. And here they are saying that we will not be forced to choose between Washington and Beijing. And that's how this is playing out. And in fact, the Emiratis are in DC right now discussing this.
We used to say that here in Australia. We don't need to choose between our greatest economic partner and our strongest alliance. And in the end, we did. So when it comes down to it, Michael, just quickly, who needs who more?
Well, put it this way. You know, is there an alternative combat aircraft to the F-35 that the Emiratis could purchase? And the simple answer is no. I mean, there's a French aircraft that they've bought. There's a Swedish alternative, a French alternative. The Russians don't even really as yet have an alternative. The only viable alternative is the Chinese J-20, but to be honest, no one really knows if that is 5G and just really what it can do. So at the end of the day, Abu Dhabi is going to have to decide whether it can live without the F-35s or whether it can live without China.